taken some serious shots in there. Oh, the shot that is! Fury's wobbling! Usyk's caught him!
We have one heavyweight champ of the world, and his name's not that hard to pronounce. Even Teddy Atlas might get it right. Usyk. Usyk. Usyk.
A little bit different than what we've seen at Cruiserweight. Going off Bobby's side.
He's really closing this gap with real, minimum effort force. Fury lights out. Dave Caldwell straight in the ring. I think he's going to stop it.
Sometimes one story changes everything. One moment, one decision, one man who ended up in the wrong place, or maybe exactly where he was supposed to be.
But even more surprisingly for a lot of people, and doesn't matter how big, how tall, how heavy, what is the reach, and how mobile Tyson Fury was. Oleksandr Usyk showed that he is the best fighter in the modern history.
That left hand to the body caused him to wilt. Again, he's trying to fight his way out of the corner. Uppercut ripping through the middle. Robert Bird poised, taking a close look at Marco Huck. All of his strength being put to the test. Usyk working away furiously. Shots underneath. Robert Bird has stepped in and has waved it off in the 10th round.
This story is not just about victories and defeats. It is a story about the price of ambition, about pressure that can break even the strongest, and about a road that can lead either to greatness or to total collapse.
Usyk now, has he cemented his legacy as the greatest heavyweight of this era?
Well, 100%. What more could he? He's done everything humanly possible in such a short amount of fights. Was that his 23rd fight? Was that his 23rd fight? Yeah, and he's undisputed cruiserweight, undisputed heavyweight, Olympic champion, world amateur champion. He's nothing more he could have done, and he's walked.
What stays behind the scenes is what almost nobody talks about. Doubt, mistakes, betrayal, fear, and that one exact moment when there is no road back. You are about to see the events that changed everything, the decisions that split destinies, and an ending that still sparks debate to this day.
I think he's one of the best of all time. I really do. I think he's one of the best heavyweights of all time. And, this is coming from a guy who was the undisputed cruiserweight champion. He's so fucking good. He's so good. I mean, think about what that guy has done. He beat AJ twice. He beat Tyson Fury twice. And now he beat Dubois twice. Mm-hmm. That's crazy.
No, it's incredible.
Those are two of the best, of this era.
I mean, I've watched every one of his fights. That dude is on such a different level.
But to understand how it all ended, you have to see this story from the very beginning. This is PS Boxing, and I've prepared for you the first large-scale documentary film in history about the greatest heavyweight of our time. Get comfortable, grab some food, and let me present to you Oleksandr Usyk documentary.
38 is a young guy. Remember, 38, it's only start.
Oleksandr Usyk was born on January 17, 1987, in the Ukrainian city of Simferopol. His childhood had nothing to do with luxury or special athletic privileges. He grew up in a completely ordinary family of working people, where labor, discipline, and respect for elders were valued above all else. The future champion's father served in the military, while his mother worked in manufacturing. The family lived modestly, just like thousands of other families across the post-Soviet world in the 1990s.
I train judo, karate, wrestling, football, boxing, more sports. But when I have 15 olds, I back home, my father say me, Alex, I know you like football, you like sport, but we don't have money what paying training. We don't have money buy shoes, form, competition. I say, maybe I go work? No, you must go to school, study. Maybe you try boxing. I say, boxing? It's dangerous sport. Yes.
When Usyk was in school, he first decided to try boxing. He came to a youth gym where boys trained with dreams of one day stepping onto the big stage. But that first meeting with the sport turned out to be painful. The coach refused to take him into the group. The reason was simple: his age. Back then, it was believed that boxers had to start from very early childhood. Many kids entered boxing at 6 or 7 years old, while Usyk showed up much later, around the age of 15. By youth sports standards, that was considered extremely late. The coach looked at the boy and told him it was already too late to begin. For most children, that would have been the end of the dream. But not for Oleksandr Usyk. That rejection didn't break him. Quite the opposite. It lit a fire in him. He started looking for other gyms, other sections, other coaches. And eventually, he found a man who saw not just his age, but his potential. That is how Usyk finally began his path in boxing.
I back home, my face red color, my nose blood. I beg my father, "Hey Alex, how are you?" I said, "Bad." Why? Because it's boxing, it's dangerous. My face pain. Alex, if you training every day, hard training, 1 week, 2 weeks, months, 2 months, you grow. I said, okay, I try.
Still, at the very beginning, he didn't look anything like a future world champion. Young Usyk was rather clumsy on his feet. His movements looked heavy, a little stiff, and in boxing, that's a serious flaw, because footwork often decides the outcome of a fight. But he had another advantage: natural gifts. He was tall, had long arms, and had a strong physical frame for boxing. All of that gave coaches hope that, with time, he could become a serious athlete. And then, something unusual happened in Usyk's life. In order to improve his coordination and learn to feel his body better, he began practicing Ukrainian folk dancing. At first glance, it sounded like a strange decision for a future boxer. But those lessons became the foundation of what the world would later witness. Dancing gave him rhythm, balance, lightness of movement, and a sense of distance. Step by step, movement by movement, that unique fluidity began forming inside him. The very fluidity that would later become his legendary footwork. Years later, fans all over the world would marvel at the way Oleksandr Usyk moved around the ring, as if he were dancing between his opponent's punches.
That's the thing. That's how he f***ed up AJ. He has that crazy power. But when you're not getting hit and you're just moving away, and this guy's just whiffing these nuclear bombs by you over and over again, and then after a while, he's like headed into the third. He's like, "Oh, Jesus Christ! Yeah, this guy is fucking not there."
Very few people would know that the origins of that lightness were born not only inside the boxing gym, but in Ukrainian folk dance, where a little boy from a simple family learned to feel the rhythm of his own steps. Usyk's first years in boxing were very far from being a story of instant success. He was not the kind of prodigy coaches and sports schools instantly start talking about. Quite the opposite. Many saw him as a fairly average boxer with decent physical tools, but without the natural sharpness and speed that usually separate future champions from everyone else. At the beginning of his journey, Usyk lost. He lost often, sometimes to more technical opponents, sometimes to those who were simply stronger and more experienced. But unlike many young athletes who get broken by defeats, every loss for him became a lesson. He began turning boxing into a craft, methodically, day by day, year by year.
For me, mistake, it's not bad. For me, mistake, it's a chance, change my work and grow. A lot of people, when they mistake, oh, okay, I'm stop, it's not possible. For me, no. For me, it's new chance, because when I take mistake, I say, okay, tomorrow I do great. But I read, I look my training, yeah, I do analyze my team, I love my team because it's my power.
Yes.
Yeah.
The training became harder and harder. He spent hours working on his footwork, sharpening his defense, learning to feel distance. It was during this time that the unique style that would later become his trademark started to take shape. Constant movement, work on the feet, and total control of the tempo of the fight. Little by little, that once awkward guy, whom coaches had once doubted, began to transform into a very uncomfortable opponent. First came early wins at regional tournaments, then victories on the national level. The surname Usyk started being heard more and more often at Ukrainian competitions. He was getting stronger, more confident, smarter inside the ring. His style stood out from most big men. Instead of relying on brute force, he increasingly won through intelligence, pace, and movement. And one day, that road led him to his first major breakthrough. Oleksandr Usyk became the champion of Ukraine. For any boxer inside the country, that is a huge milestone. Ukraine has always been known for its powerful boxing school, where the level of competition is unbelievably high. Future legends came from there. So to break through that system means proving that you truly belong among the elite. But for Usyk, that was only the next step. After winning on the national level, he began competing internationally. The tournaments got tougher.
Усик отличное движение по рингу для боксера весом 81 килограмм. И тут, я думаю, сказывается то, что он влёг.
The opponents got meaner, but it was exactly there that Usyk fully revealed himself as a world-class boxer. He began winning tournament after tournament, and one by one, major achievements started appearing on his resume. Victories at prestigious international tournaments, medals at European championships, and finally, triumph at the Amateur World Championship. That success became a turning point. Now his name was known not only in Ukraine, but across the international boxing world. By that time, Usyk's amateur resume already looked extremely impressive. Hundreds of rounds fought, dozens of tournaments, a huge number of victories. His style had become unmistakable. A southpaw with brilliant footwork, constantly moving, breaking the opponent's rhythm, and making world champions and Olympic medalists look slow. But even after all those achievements, one main goal still stood in front of him. The dream he had trained for all those years. The Olympics.
Выигранным боем 5-4.
By the time the 2012 Olympic Games began, Oleksandr Usyk's road was already a story of persistence and long years of work. He was not the main favorite of the tournament. His weight class was packed with boxers from all over the world. Powerful, aggressive fighters used to breaking opponents with strength. But Usyk came there with different weapons: speed, intelligence, and that very footwork that once began with Ukrainian folk dance.
He is an incredible boxer. He's one of the best boxers of all time, and regardless of any division. He's always moving. There's no rest with him.
No rest.
There's
no
like constant, there's constant twitching.
Under fire the whole time.
You're constantly thinking, when is this coming? There's no silent agreements. There's no relaxation. There's no rounds off.
Yeah.
Everything is, he's putting it on you and moving constantly.
At the Olympics, Usyk quickly showed that he had not arrived there just to participate. His style became a genuine nightmare for his opponents. He kept moving, changing attack angles, working behind the jab, and forcing bigger men to miss. Round after round, he advanced further and further through the bracket. Each victory brought him closer to the dream he had spent so many years chasing. But the real test was waiting for him in the semi-final. One of the most dangerous fighters in the tournament was Russian puncher Artur Beterbiev. He was considered one of the main favorites and possessed frightening punching power. That fight became a true chess match inside the ring. Beterbiev tried to force a physical war, press forward, break the distance, and drag Usyk into close-range fighting. But the Ukrainian kept stepping aside, moving, working in combinations, and gradually piling up points. Round after round, he outboxed his rival. When the final bell rang, the judges awarded the victory to Usyk. It was one of the most important wins of his amateur career. It opened the road to the Olympic final.
You feel? I'm very feel.
In the decisive bout, his opponent was Italian veteran Clemente Russo, a gold. For Usyk, it was the chance to carve his name into history. The final was fought in a tense atmosphere. The Italian tried to impose physical boxing, press with his size and power, and force the Ukrainian into his kind of fight. But once again, Usyk chose his own strategy: speed, movement, and precision.
Very good third and final round against the teenager from Azerbaijan.
Left hook, but it's drawing his man in, he should be concentrating on. I think Russo lucky to get away with not a standing count there because he was off balance, gets caught again.
Good left hand and he covers up well.
Every time Russo tried to close the distance, Usyk met him with sharp punches and instantly stepped out of the line of attack. His footwork constantly disrupted the opponent's rhythm, and his combinations kept bringing in points. Round after round, the Ukrainians' advantage became more and more obvious. When the fight ended, the scorecards confirmed what the crowd had already seen.
Strict, very strict, but my father not say me, I love you, son, you great, yeah, you can, you must, you can. Okay, after my Olympic Games, when I take gold medal in London, I back my room, sit on the sofa, I called my father, hey son, congratulations, I love you. Oh my God, for me it's, I love you, I cry. Oh, you love me? Yes, son, I love you. Oh my God, I love you too.
After his Olympic triumph, Oleksandr Usyk's life changed forever. Olympic gold is the summit of amateur boxing, and for many athletes, that moment instantly becomes the bridge to the professional ranks. Big contracts, promoters, huge fights, all of that usually arrives immediately. But Usyk did not rush. Instead of jumping straight into professional boxing, he remained inside the amateur system for a little while longer. He kept training, kept working on himself, and kept competing in different tournaments. For him, the Olympic gold medal was not the final point. It was only one step in a much longer career. Those months after the Olympics became a time of rethinking. Usyk understood that the move to professional boxing meant entering a completely different world. Different rules, different fight distances, different physical and stamina demands. In amateurs, the fights are short and built around speed and accuracy. Professional boxing is a real long-distance war, so Usyk kept training. He strengthened his body, worked on endurance, and adapted his style to longer fights. But there was also another problem: his physical dimensions. Unlike most fighters in the heavyweight or cruiserweight divisions, Usyk was significantly more compact. His height was around 6 feet 3 inches, and his natural weight sat well below the usual 220 pounds. For the heavyweight division, he looked small, but even for cruiserweight, he was not some giant. Many of his opponents there were also very strong physically and often outweighed him. In many ways, Usyk was stuck between two worlds. Too small for heavyweight and not the biggest man even for cruiserweight. But that was exactly where his greatest trait showed itself. He never built his career around physical strength. His weapons had always been intelligence, technique, and movement. That is why, when Oleksandr Usyk finally made the decision to turn pro in 2013, he did it without rushing and without making loud declarations. He chose the path of steady growth, no screaming call-outs, no artificially inflated record, just step by step. His professional debut came in 2013, and from the very first fights it became clear this was not just an Olympic champion stepping into the ring. This was a boxer with an extremely high ring IQ, who moved differently, thought differently, and controlled every minute of the fight. At that time, very few people understood that this relatively small southpaw would soon begin tearing apart an entire division. Very soon, the cruiserweight division would understand one simple truth. Standing in front of them was a boxer who could not be boxed into the usual categories of size and strength.
But even more surprisingly for a lot of people, and doesn't matter how big, how tall, how heavy, what is the reach, and how mobile Tyson Fury was, Oleksandr Usyk showed that he is the best fighter in the modern history. I'm very proud of Oleksandr Usyk.
And I said that there's certain abilities that are non-measurable in the tangible ways that we measure abilities, that we measure speed, we measure footwork, we measure power, we measure elusiveness, technique, but there's certain abilities that can't be measured in those ways. And a guy named Usyk has one of those abilities. It's the ability to find a way to win.
After turning professional, Oleksandr Usyk's career developed unusually fast. Most fighters spend years padding their records, taking dozens of fights against less dangerous opposition. But Usyk's team chose a different path. They moved him toward the top immediately. A world title shot came much sooner than it usually does in professional boxing. Already in his 10th fight, Usyk got the chance to fight for a championship belt. His opponent was the reigning champion, Krzysztof Głowacki. The Polish fighter held the WBO World Cruiserweight title and was considered a very dangerous opponent. He was powerful, aggressive, and known for heavy hands. On top of that, the fight took place on his home turf, in the Polish city of Gdansk. Tens of thousands of fans were backing Głowacki, while Usyk entered the ring as a challenger with only 10 professional fights behind him. But the moment the bell rang, it became obvious that this fight would be fought on Usyk's terms. From the opening rounds, the Ukrainian took control of the pace. He kept moving, changing angles, pumping the jab, and refusing to let the champion turn the fight into a physical slugfest. Głowacki tried to close the gap, searching for openings for his heavy attacks, but Usyk simply slipped away from him.
With that counter right hook.
He can punch early, he can punch late, and he's got Polish compatriot of Głowacki and what he challenger from Kiev and from Volks in Poland.
It's a game plan that he will have worked on for many, many weeks and months. They're good shots, then up close by.
Take that strength away from him, keep popping the jab, because Usyk, he punches.
Bit of damage, before to Gravotsky, just a little nick.
The famous footwork of the Ukrainian once again became the key factor. He circled around the champion, broke through his defense with combinations, and gradually collected round after round. The fight turned into a masterclass.
Staying stoic. It's the title of the two southpaws. Sometimes two southpaws make for an ugly match. This hasn't happened. Good shot from Gravotsky again. He's got the added power. Wins for Gravotsky.
Tony, I think Gravotsky's getting quite a few power shots off here. A couple of big right hooks. He's doing pretty well this round.
I think he's pleasantly surprised.
When the final bell sounded, the scorecards left no room for doubt. A clear, unanimous victory. Oleksandr Usyk became the new WBO World Cruiserweight Champion. That night, the entire Cruiserweight division realized that a new king had arrived, and ahead of him stood an even more ambitious goal: to collect all the belts.
Being compared to Evander Holyfield as one of the greatest cruiserweights of all time.
I need to go a long, hard way even to approach to Evander Holyfield. I'm far, far behind.
In 2017, the Cruiserweight division launched an event designed to determine the one true king of the division, the World Boxing Super Series. The format was simple and brutal. The best fighters in the world enter one tournament, and after a series of fights, only one remains: the undisputed champion. By then, Oleksandr Usyk already held the WBO belt and was considered one of the strongest men in the division. But the hardest tests of his career were still waiting.
Now I don't think about another fight. I'm just concentrated on Marco Huck, and right now I want to think just about that. And after that step, we will think about another guy.
His first opponent in the tournament was former division ruler Marco Huck. Huck had long been one of the most dangerous men in the cruiserweight division. He carried huge championship experience, serious power, and a highly aggressive style. Many believed he would become the first real test for the Ukrainian. The fight also took place in Germany, where Huck traditionally enjoyed massive crowd support. But Usyk was perfectly calm.
He said that he plans on knocking you out. I just want to know what you think about that.
Enjoy that. Yeah.
One seed in the World Boxing Super Series, and tonight he is making the third defense of his world title. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the 2012 Olympic...
From the very start, the German tried to impose a rough physical style. Pressure, clinches, ugly exchanges, and incredibly dirty boxing.
Usyk. Such a twinkle-toed individual for a man who possessed of such heavy hands. Upon the resumption, Oleksandr Usyk scored with a good left hand to the body, poised forwards, but it's a two-phase bunch of medalists and champions in particular who have gone on to make a significant...
Usyk, however, stayed ice-cold. He kept moving, breaking him down with the jab, and refusing to let Huck fight his usual fight. Round after round, the entire pace of the bout belonged to the Ukrainian. By the middle rounds, it was obvious Huck was getting tired.
But they're easily evaded by Oleksandr Usyk. And then he comes back with a counter two-punch combination. And again, he's just continuing to move counterclockwise, going downstairs to the body effectively. So halfway through the 7th round. And Huck, such a tough individual. 4 defeats, only 2 of them have come inside the distance. As Usyk gets onto the front foot, Huck bobbing and weaving, but he can't evade these blows.
Usyk raised the tempo, sharpened his combinations, and landed clean more and more often, until a precise series forced the referee to stop the fight.
At Marco Huck, all of his strength being put to the test. Usyk working away furiously. Shots underneath. Robert Byrd has stepped in and has waved it off.
A TKO win. Usyk moved confidently into the semi-final. That semi-final was called by many experts the final before the final. His opponent, Mairis Bridis, was highly technical, physically strong, and extremely disciplined. On top of that, The fight was held in Bridis' hometown, Riga. For the first time in a long while, Usyk was facing an opponent who could answer him in both speed and technique. It became one of the most competitive fights of Usyk's entire career. But it is exactly in fights like that that championship character reveals itself. In the decisive rounds, Usyk found another gear in activity, accuracy and movement.
Backwards, but now plants his feet and tries to force Bridis, trying to assert himself. Poking straights, getting through the guard of Usyk. Usyk remaining in pursuit of his man. Bridis breathing through an open mouth. He takes a solid southpaw left there. Usyk looking to continue to conceding that this is the biggest fight of his career as he lands with a good left hand which drives Bridis backwards. Bridis becoming a little bit obsessed.
After 12 rounds, the judges awarded the victory to the Ukrainian. He now held 2 championship belts, WBO and WBC. Up until that moment, his professional path had looked almost perfect. He had been beating opponents confidently, controlling fights, and looking nearly unbeatable. But the fight with Bridis showed for the first time that Usyk could experience real, serious problems. It was the first truly competitive fight of his professional career. And outside the ring, problems started to appear too. Problems the public barely knew anything about. The training camp stopped functioning the way it used to. The coach who had prepared Usyk for the Bridis fight had started giving him much less attention. The camp was becoming less structured, and the training process itself began falling apart. For a boxer like Usyk, that was critical. His style was built on discipline, precision, and obsessive work on details. Once the system begins to crack, the boxing suffers too. That issue had to be solved immediately, because ahead stood the biggest fight of the tournament, a fight for 4 belts and the title of Undisputed World Champion. And that was the exact moment when the man appeared who effectively saved Usyk's preparation. That man was Vasily Lomachenko.
Lomachenko technically is the best fighter that I've seen since that early Ali.
People who don't know, please go online right now and Google Vasily Lomachenko. He might be the best boxer that's ever lived.
Who's your favorite fighter to watch right now, Mike?
There's a guy from the Ukraine called Lomachenko.
From the very beginning of their careers, Usyk and Lomachenko had traveled almost in parallel. They trained side by side, fought in many of the same tournaments, came through amateur boxing together, won world championships, and captured Olympic gold. To many people, they looked almost like brothers. And the man behind Lomachenko's success, his entire life, was his father, the legendary coach, Anatoly Lomachenko. It was he who created the unique training system that made Vasily one of the most technical boxers of the modern era.
He is blessed with one weapon that nobody else in the world has, and that's his trainer, the father. Anatoly is, in my opinion, the best trainer in the world. I mean, the way he trains Vasily, the discipline, what they do in training is something that you unfortunately don't see in boxing.
When it became obvious that Usyk's preparation needed a total reset, Anatoly Lomachenko agreed to help. He took Oleksandr under his wing and began preparing him for the biggest fight of his career. The symbolism was impossible to miss. 2 friends, 2 Olympic champions, 2 fighters born out of the same boxing culture, once again standing side by side on the road to the summit. But the most dangerous opponent was waiting ahead, one of the most destructive punchers in the division, Murat Gassiev. Gassiev held the WBA and IBF titles and was widely seen as a true knockout machine. His style was simple, brutal, and dangerous. Pressure, crushing body shots, and heavy hooks that could end the fight at any second. The final was held in Moscow, on his home territory, with the crowd fully behind him. But once the fight began, it became obvious that the work with Anatoly Lomachenko had produced something incredible.
Like, I always say he's like a giant Lomachenko.
Got it.
They were both trained by the same guy.
Oh, were they?
Yeah, Lomachenko's father trained Usyk as well.
Ah.
Yeah.
From the opening rounds, Usyk did what he does better than almost anyone. He destroyed the opponent's game plan through movement. He kept circling, working behind the jab, changing his attack angles, and never allowing Gassiev to establish the distance needed for those heavy punches. It was a true masterclass in footwork. Gassiev kept trying to hunt him down, trying to impose his power, but the Ukrainian seemed to disappear from the line of attack and reappear with precise combinations. Round after round, the fight turned into a one-sided chess match. After 12 rounds, the judges unanimously awarded the victory to Usyk, and that night, history was made. Oleksandr Usyk became the undisputed cruiserweight champion of the world, unifying the WBO, WBC, WBA, and IBF titles. He also lifted the main trophy of the tournament, the Muhammad Ali Trophy. That was the moment when the boxing world fully understood that they were looking at a boxer who wins not only through physical ability, but through intelligence, discipline, and the people standing behind him. But in order to truly cement his legacy in the division, he still needed one more fight against the former king of the division, Tony Bellew. Just another challenger. He was a battle-tested veteran, a former world champion, a charismatic fighter, and a genuine hero to the British crowd. On top of that, he had just beaten the dangerous puncher David Haye and was riding a strong wave of momentum. The fight took place in Great Britain, inside the electric atmosphere of a packed arena in Manchester. Before the fight, Bellew was highly confident. He insisted he had found the key to Usyk's style and that he would stop the Ukrainian champion. Many British fans believed he would become the man to finally stop the undisputed king of the cruiserweight division. And in the early rounds, the fight did look difficult for Usyk. Bellew was disciplined, careful, and sharp on the counter. At moments, it even seemed as if the Brit had found a tempo that made the champion uncomfortable. But this is where Usyk's greatest trait showed up again, his ability to adapt. By the middle rounds, the Ukrainian had fully taken over the ring. He kept breaking through Bellew's defense with clean punches, forcing him to retreat more and more. And then, the decisive moment arrived. In the 8th round, Oleksandr Usyk landed a perfect combination that ended with a devastating left hand.
He's really closing this gap with real, minimum effort.
Bellew hit the canvas and could not continue. Usyk had completely cleaned out the division. He could have stayed in the cruiserweight division as its undisputed king for years. But he wanted something bigger. He wanted history. And almost immediately after the fight, he made a stunningly bold announcement.
Listen, guys, heavyweight. It's not cruiserweight. It's heavyweight. Plus 200. Yes.
Oleksandr Usyk had decided to move up into the most dangerous division in boxing, the heavyweight division. where giants, knockout artists, and champions outweighed him by dozens of pounds. That is where the next chapter of his legend was about to begin.
What do you make of Usyk's move up to heavyweight, and what advice would you give him as somebody who's an undisputed cruiserweight champion moving up?
Well, the fact is he's a good fighter. He's a good fighter, and and I find that the guy from Russia, right? Ukraine. I'm talking about as part of Russia. It's somewhere around that, right?
That's right.
Anybody, all them people who poor, who willing to go through something, they'll fight. And so you show you that, at the end of given time, if they practice enough, they're going to eventually win.
At first glance, it looked like an incredibly risky step. In boxing, heavyweight is giant territory. Men standing around 6 feet 6 inches, weighing around 250 pounds, carrying terrifying power. That is why many people reacted to the news of Usyk's move with mockery.
You little 14-stone coward. You little shitbag, you rat little bastard.
Experts, fans, and even some fighters openly doubted his chances. No one argued with the fact that he was a brilliant technician. His footwork, ring IQ, and distance control had made him the undisputed king at cruiserweight. But heavyweight was a completely different story. In that division, size and power can decide everything. And if Usyk still looked physically solid among cruisers, then among heavyweights, he seemed outright small.
People can argue about eras, about legends, but you can't argue with what's on the ledger. Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua, they were supposed to be the ones to break him. They were bigger, stronger, already two-time heavyweight champions.
Some analysts directly claimed that his style would never work against real big men, because in heavyweight, one single clean punch can end a fight instantly. Even among fans, there were plenty who believed Usyk was making a mistake. In their eyes, he had already achieved everything possible at cruiserweight and could have remained there a legend. But Oleksandr Usyk himself saw it differently. He had never built his career around size. His greatest weapons had always been intelligence, movement, and the ability to break his opponent's rhythm. Where others trusted strength, he won with tactics.
I think I probably need to get more touchness, like target, to land my punches more properly, precisely. Yeah, okay, so I need to land my punches precisely instead of that just to make them heavy punches. And if you have doubts about it, you can call a couple of my opponents and they will tell you, can I hit them or not?
The first opponent in this new division was American veteran Chaz Witherspoon. That fight took place in 2019 and became Usyk's heavyweight debut. Formerly, Chaz was not a top contender, but he was a real heavyweight. Big, strong, experienced, and battle-tested over dozens of professional fights. From the opening rounds, the Ukrainian fought in his familiar style.
Up in heavyweight, let's see if he's a ruptured right bicep in nearly a year. He is a big, full-size man, 6'4", 242. With a straight left, it's the midsection.
Working behind the jab, he's...
Claudia, thank you. Yeah, no, absolutely. If you're Tommy Brooks, the pace has to meet your liking, at the very least. Sit down, backs up, Witherspoon to the ropes. Feels like a bad strategy. And the left hand straight up. Yeah, but I don't know, can Witherspoon bum rush Usyk, Chris?
Constant movement, fast combinations, and control of distance. He was literally taking his opponent apart with precise punches and never allowing him to impose a strength-based fight. The difference in speed and technique was obvious. Round by round, Witherspoon grew more and more tired under the constant pressure. He was taking too many shots and barely finding any opportunity to answer back.
Witherspoon trying to throw a meaningful shot. Witherspoon starts to open up the attack just a bit. Usyk steps in. And for you kids out there, he was around. Sergio is on the underground. It's not. What would you advise, Sergio? What do you think you should do here?
Nothing's really opening up. Witherspoon's not really giving you much on that touchdown stage. Like that.
Again, that's a kind of a subtle move that he does. Look at how fast that is. Just the left hand. This crowd
After the 7th round, his corner stopped the fight.
Derek, hello. See you Saturday. I'm very happy. I'm here. See you.
The next opponent was one of the strongest and most physically imposing men in the division, Derek Chisora. The WBO Intercontinental Heavyweight title was on the line. Chisora represented a very different kind of challenge. If Witherspoon relied more on experience, Derek was a full-on pressure machine. Huge, powerful, and always coming forward, he attacked the body and leaned on opponents with all his weight.
Derek! I'm coming for you! Derek!
Even though Chisora was not considered a world champion-level man, his reputation was serious. He had fought the best heavyweights in the world and was known for relentless aggression and brutal physical strength. For Usyk, this became a real test. At times, the weight difference looked massive, and the Ukrainian had to practically survive under the pressure. Some rounds turned into hard physical struggles, where Derek tried to wear him down with constant attacks and sheer force.
And Chisora is giving him no breathing space at all. Landing the hard, good left hand. He just got tangled up. I'll tell you what, Chisora, these last few seconds of this 4th round, really well. No jabbing, Usyk, something that we didn't expect. Switched again. Oh, good left hand. It's a good chance of a combination. Beautifully timed from Chisora. And he's had him again, and Chisora is now in a bit of trouble, backing up and needed to...
But gradually, the tempo Usyk imposed began breaking the Brit, and in the later rounds, the Ukrainian looked fresher, cleaner, and sharper.
But you can't just be the better boxer and get hit twice the amount the other guy's hitting you. Doesn't make any sense, Andy. So sometimes you have to think, the output outweighs the better boxing sometimes, and that's the way it goes. And tonight, that's what I feel Derek Chisora was. He outworked Oleksandr Usyk. He made it rough for him, and I do think Oleksandr Usyk got his tactics wrong tonight. I think he went in there to be the tough guy with a point to prove.
After 12 rounds, the judges gave Usyk a unanimous decision victory. It was a very hard win. But after that fight, many experts said for the first time that Oleksandr Usyk might truly be competitive at heavyweight. If he could survive the pressure of a fighter like Chisora, maybe he could challenge world champions too.
I know that you as a fighter chase the legacy, and obviously being the undisputed Cruiserweight world champion, this would be an incredible moment for Ukraine and for you personally, would cement your legacy as a pound-for-pound great.
After that grueling win over Chisora, one thing became clear. Oleksandr Usyk could handle the pressure of a true heavyweight, but the next step was on a completely different level. He was about to fight the reigning world champion, Anthony Joshua.
Trying to survive, but Anthony Joshua topples him again!
The #1 heavyweight in the world. He gets in the ring with Usyk like that. He gets in with a Fury like that. Everyone knows. He knocks out Tyson Fury.
Joshua was one of the most dangerous fighters of that era. He possessed what frightens any opponent: unbelievable physical strength and devastating knockout power. A massive, athletic monster with the kind of punch that can completely shut the lights off. Most of his wins ended the same way. One clean shot, and everything went dark for the opponent.
How are you? I'm coming for you, Anthony.
Against a fighter like that, Usyk looked almost like the exact opposite. He was significantly lighter, more compact, and didn't have the same raw, destructive one-shot power of a true heavyweight.
As I've watched him throughout the years, I've seen him get better and better, developing into that line of all-time great fighters.
Who's Anthony Joshua in the ring? Someone who just has fun, goes out there and does his job with ease.
I'm just consistent and I'm dedicated.
That's just the mindset of a champion. I'm the supreme being. I'm the greatest fighter God ever blew air in.
Before the fight, almost every analyst agreed. Joshua was the favorite. A huge favorite. Too big, too strong, too dangerous for the Ukrainian.
You'd fear anything through the amount of fights that he's had and the experience he's got through the amateurs and the big fights he's had. I think now for him it would be the fear of not performing to the best of his ability, the fear of losing, the fear of not becoming the heavyweight champion. And look, when that first belt happened, that can play a part.
Many openly said that the fight would end not just in defeat for Usyk, but in a brutal knockout. Even the fact that he had dared to challenge a champion like that made some people smile sarcastically. In their eyes, it looked like two completely different worlds colliding. A giant destroyer against a smaller technical master.
We expect Anthony Joshua to come in lighter. We've been told maybe you might be heavier. Is that the Oleksandr Usyk we're going to see?
Can't you see it now?
Oh yeah, you look great.
Everyone believed power would win. But in boxing, there are moments when technique, intelligence, and discipline prove stronger than size and punching force. And to prove that, Oleksandr Usyk had to survive the most difficult fight of his life. From the opening rounds, Oleksandr Usyk began doing exactly what he does best, dismantling his opponent's plan with his own style. He kept moving, changing angles, pumping the jab, and forcing Joshua to miss.
Work with the feet from Usyk. Doesn't want to give up too much ground, and he hasn't so far.
Oh! And again, Usyk with a straight left hand. The southpaw scores.
Two big shots straight down the middle of the guard of AJ. Took it well, though. Looking for that backhand again, just misses.
The Brit looked confused because he was used to opponents standing in front of him, trading punches and trying to prove superiority with force.
Now what we have to remember is that Usyk has survived the punches such as Geisen and Chisora. So big punches do not.
To the body, big hands to the body from AJ.
Yes.
The pace better though now, Anthony Joshua.
Yes.
Not getting picked off as much.
Oh, another straight left splits the guard for Usyk.
But Usyk denied him that fight. He appeared, landed combinations, and vanished from the line of attack.
To the body. Right when Josh, and right now, it is off the charts electric.
Oh, backhand from Usyk. AJ took the sting out of that.
By the championship rounds, the situation became even more surprising. Usyk was not just winning on points, he had begun fully taking over the fight. His combinations got sharper, his movement got faster, and his confidence kept rising with every minute.
Do you like it? AJ and Usyk championship rounds. The Jack
not throwing anything.
The footwork won't allow him to throw much.
No.
Usyk trying to send shockwaves throughout
the final round became especially spectacular. There, Oleksandr Usyk unleashed a storm of attacks, backing Joshua toward the ropes and landing combination after combination. The champion barely survived to hear the final bell. And when the fight was over, it was clear that something historic had happened.
How do you feel, heavyweight champion of the world?
I'm very feel.
What's that?
Heavyweight champions.
After Oleksandr Usyk sensationally defeated Anthony Joshua and took his championship belts, the boxing world almost immediately began talking about a rematch. For Joshua, it was a chance to reclaim his empire. For Usyk, it was the chance to prove that the first win had not been a fluke.
Do you believe Anthony Joshua will take the rematch with you, though?
Я не думаю об этом. Я думаю сейчас о своей жене, понял?
I don't think about that right now. I'm thinking about my wife. Got it?
that your wife there? Oh, sorry.
Ahead of the second fight, the Brit completely changed his preparation. He understood that in the first bout, he had lost mostly in tactics and ring IQ. So he entered the rematch with a different mindset, more aggressive, more physical, more direct.
Definitely, the whole team, everybody around us is very positive. We have to do whatever it takes. We have to come up with different strategies in case one doesn't work. But we'll be ready for the fight. Anthony's listening. He believes in us, and that's the most important thing. But in the ring, he's got to come out and do what we're telling him to do.
Many believed Joshua would finally learn from the first fight and use his weight, strength, and physicality to crush the Ukrainian. And that size difference, of course, had not disappeared. And in reality, the rematch really was much tougher for Usyk. From the early rounds, Joshua looked far more confident. He attacked more often, worked the body aggressively, and tried to impose a physically punishing fight. Some rounds became dense, difficult battles where Joshua attempted to force a power-based style.
Putting those in combination is a great idea.
10 seconds of an excellent round for Joshua, who sinks another right hand to the body. Good left hand there from Usyk. Now tries to wrap one around the guard of Joshua.
I would say this. I mean, Joshua's had success in the early part of this fight, but the real estate this fight is taking place in, it's almost identical to where it took place.
The middle of the fight became especially difficult for Usyk. The Brit started landing to the body, pressuring him and creating exchanges. But this is exactly where a true champion reveals himself. Oleksandr Usyk adapted again.
That first fight as a masterful boxing performance from Oleksandr Usyk, but it wasn't like he didn't have to battle through adversity, and it wasn't like he was
fight. George Foreman being the bigger guy, the power puncher, fighting the southpaw. He used sweeping left hands to walk more into a right hand. I feel like that would be a great tactic for Joshua.
He increased his movement, raised his combination volume, and gradually began taking the initiative back.
Round for Anthony Joshua, and some good shots land from Oleksandr Usyk. Oh, big left hand connects from Usyk. Usyk firing back.
Joshua's in a little bit of trouble here. Nation from Usyk.
Big right hook ended that. Good reply from Usyk as he goes back down to the body.
By the championship rounds, the fight once more tilted in his direction.
I don't care about strong, I have that skills. Being strong doesn't win boxing. Okay. Skills win boxing.
Yeah, okay.
You're not strong, how did you beat me?
Let's do this.
How? Because of skills.
The judges rendered the verdict. Split decision victory for Oleksandr Usyk. He had beaten Anthony Joshua again and retained his titles. In boxing, people often say that one upset can happen once. But to defeat a fighter like Joshua twice, that is proof of greatness. And after that rematch, it became undeniable. Usyk was the true king of the heavyweight division.
I don't rate AJ, never have. He's a blown-up bodybuilder who can't box, we all know that.
For years, the division had revolved around two huge figures, Joshua and Tyson Fury. One held multiple titles and was seen as the physical monster of the division. The other was a charismatic giant, an undefeated champion, and one of the most unusual heavyweights in boxing history. But after Joshua's losses, everything changed. Oleksandr Usyk had beaten him twice, and in doing so, had effectively taken the throne of heavyweight boxing. He became the man who had risen from Cruiserweight and conquered the most dangerous division in the sport. But for complete domination, there was still one final step left. One last fight. A clash with the other king of the division, Tyson Fury.
Where's Oleksandr Usyk, the rabbit? Hey, rabbit! Usyk, you're next, little bitch. You're next. You are next. Me and you, sucker, next. Me and you. You're getting it, little sucker. Rabbit. Pussy. Look at it. 15-stone little midget beat a bodybuilder. Well, I ain't a bodybuilder, sucker. I'm gonna write you off. I already done one Ukrainian Klitschko, didn't I? And I'll do you as well, gappy teeth. You ugly little man. You ugly little man.
At that moment, Fury held the WBC title and remained unbeaten. A giant heavyweight over 2 meters tall, with remarkable mobility, superb ring IQ, and psychological games that often broke opponents before they even entered the ring. He fully understood that if Usyk had already beaten Joshua, then sooner or later the roads of those two champions would collide. And that is why Fury moved first. He began actively talking about the fight, making loud statements and provoking the Ukrainian. In interviews and on social media came sarcastic lines, mockery, and outright trash talk.
You know what's coming, you're getting smashed to pieces, sausage. Run, rabbit, run, run, run. You beat all the rest of them, but you ain't beat Tyson Fury yet, sausage.
Thank you so much, everybody, people. I more speak in the ring.
For a long time, Fury kept choosing other fights and did not hurry to sign for the Undisputed showdown. And that meant only one thing. Usyk had to keep defending his titles. That's how another dangerous young British puncher appeared in his path, Daniel Dubois. And it was in that fight that one of the most controversial moments in Usyk's career took place. In the 5th round, Dubois landed a powerful body shot that sent the Ukrainian to the canvas. But the referee immediately stopped the sequence, ruling it a low blow. That moment sparked enormous debate in the boxing world. Dubois' team insisted the punch was legal, and that in that exact moment the Brit should have become the new world champion. Usyk's side insisted the shot had clearly been below the belt.
It was a body shot, but illegal body shot.
Don't call my man a cheater, because he didn't cheat. He had opportunity to rest, and he rested.
The arguments continued long after the fight ended. But once the bout resumed, Oleksandr Usyk once again did what he had done throughout his entire career. He began taking his opponent apart with technique. He raised the tempo, began landing more often, moved better, and gradually took full control of the bout. And in the 8th round, it was over. Oleksandr Usyk had successfully defended his championship belts. After that victory, one thing became crystal clear. Only one man remained on his path.
You little 14-stone coward. You little shitbag, you rat little bastard. And your full team know it as well. And all the lawyers have got the full information. You little ugly bastard. Keep running. Fight Dubois at the copper box now, shitbag. And always know that you or anybody else like you could never tangle with the Gypsy King, you shithouse little coward.
After all these wins, Oleksandr Usyk stood just one step away from absolute greatness. And that step was a fight with the final king of the division, the undefeated champion Tyson Fury.
Impossible. The Lord would never deliver me to you, son. Ever.
The Lord
would never deliver me to you. Ever. Never.
The Lord has nothing impossible.
Nothing's impossible, but he'd never deliver me to you. Especially a man wearing earrings. Ever. Believe that. When you sleep at night, ugly man, you gotta think of me for the next 8 weeks. Think of me, because I'm gonna punch your face in.
Before the fight, Fury openly mocked the Ukrainian's accomplishments and insisted that his size, ring IQ, and improvisation would destroy Usyk. And on paper, it looked terrifying. A towering heavyweight over 2 meters tall, with outstanding mobility, an unusual style, and brilliant ring intelligence. Many truly believed that Fury would become the first man to hand Usyk a loss.
I'm going to make this short and simple. I want to thank God for the victory that I've received already, and I want to thank everybody involved in putting this massive event on. I want to thank Usyk for turning up and challenging me,
And that's about it. Thank you to all the fans who travelled over to support me, because I know it's tough times at the moment and money's hard, so I aim to put on a show. Thank you very much. God bless.
But when the fight started, one thing became obvious. Usyk's technique was on a different level. The Ukrainian gradually outboxed Fury through movement, timing, and accuracy. And the climax came in the 9th round.
But he's taken some serious shots in there. What a shot that is! Fury's wobbling. Usyk's caught him.
Usyk caught Fury with a perfect series of punches, badly hurt him, and drove him all the way back to the ropes. The Brit could barely stay on his feet. The referee even started a count as Fury, stumbling, leaned into the ropes. That was the moment when Usyk came within a breath of knocking out the most important opponent of his career.
I don't think about it, because we have a winner. Okay, maybe. I don't think about it, because we have win. Yeah? Okay, no knockout, no problem. But 12th round, it's a big drama.
It was a historic victory, one that marked the beginning of a new era in boxing. Now, Usyk stood as the best fighter in the world, regardless of weight class. Who would have imagined that the boy whom coaches once refused to train, the one they wrote off because of awkwardness and late age, would rise this high?
Usyk now, has he cemented his legacy as the greatest heavyweight of this era?
100%. What more could he? He's done everything humanly possible in such a short amount of fights. Was that his 23rd fight? Was that his 23rd fight? Yeah, and he's undisputed cruiserweight, undisputed heavyweight, Olympic champion, world amateur champion. He's nothing more he could have done, and he's fought.
I miss my father. I say my father, hey, listen, you live that, I live here. Please, no coming for me. I love you.
In the immediate and very emotional aftermath of the decision, you said you thought it went against you because Ukraine was at war. I just wonder if do you want to talk about that? Do you want to? I mean,
Listen, it was what it was. We couldn't. It's not up to the fighters, you know. One of the judges had me winning, 2 of them didn't. It was what it was.
And at the end of the day,
can't really say much about it.
I know he's here. Maybe like after.
Almost immediately after the fight, Tyson Fury activated the rematch clause. Some believed Usyk had earned a fully deserved victory by outboxing the giant with technique and intelligence. Others claimed Fury had simply underestimated him and would correct everything in the rematch.
People saying, oh, he's a hard man to hit. I was lighting him up 3 and 4 punch combinations, laughing at him. My problem in that fight, I probably had too much fun. It was probably too easy. At times, it was too easy. It was like I was in there with a local amateur boxer, and I was just enjoying it too much and messing around, and you paid the ultimate price in round 9 where I got a 10-8 round and got clipped, and that's what happens when you have too much fun.
Fury gave interview after interview, saying that the first fight had been only a warm-up and that next time he would be a completely different fighter. He promised more pressure, more aggression, and said that now he knew exactly how to beat the Ukrainian.
Us, what happened in the fight was a good fight for the fans, and we move on from that. But like I said earlier on in my opening statement, I have to be a little bit more focused and a little bit more smart to get the victory. As it would seem, my rematch with people is always ends up one way. I always end up knocking them out in the rematch. Whoever I've faced more than once has been knocked out in the rematch. So I'm envisaging something similar in the second fight with Usyk.
For Usyk, that second fight carried enormous weight. Winning the first one had made him the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, one of the rarest achievements in modern boxing. But the rematch would determine whether his status as king of the sport would become completely unquestionable. If the first fight had been explosive and dramatic, the rematch was more like a complex chess battle between two elite boxers. But in the biggest moments, it was Usyk who looked cleaner and more precise. When the final bell rang, the tension in the arena was enormous. And once again, the judges gave the victory to Oleksandr Usyk. That win firmly sealed his place as one of the greatest boxers of his era. A man who had traveled the road from a boy in an ordinary family to the absolute king of the heavyweight division. After the epic battles with Fury, it seemed like Oleksandr Usyk's career had already found its perfect ending. He had beaten the giants of his division, become undisputed champion, and proven his greatness. But in heavyweight, stories rarely end that simply.
Right hand, Anthony Joshua! He's outside! And it is! But he has the shot of his own! What are we witnessing? What are we witnessing? Anthony Joshua is down! He's not going to beat the count! Anthony Joshua has been knocked out!
Meanwhile, something happened in the division that once again changed the balance of power. Daniel Dubois produced a major shock, a result many would later call the upset of the year. In his fight against former world champion Anthony Joshua, he managed to knock out the British superstar. That win immediately pushed Dubois back into the center of the boxing world, and with it, the whole world remembered their first fight with Usyk.
No, I didn't think that was a low blow. I thought that landed, and I've been treated out of victory tonight, but you know, what else can I say? What else can I say? Frank.
That same controversial moment, Dubois' punch that dropped Usyk to the canvas. Some believed it was a legal body shot. Others called it a low blow. The referee had given the Ukrainian time to recover, and the bout continued. In the end, Usyk knocked Dubois out, but debate over that moment never truly died.
Which I guess Usyk team are presenting as low shots. Usyk has signed, Daniel Dubois is now signing paper here.
It was a body shot, but illegal body shot.
After beating Joshua, Dubois constantly brought it up. In interviews, he insisted he had been robbed, that the shot was completely legal, and that the victory had simply been handed to Usyk. According to him, if things had been fair that night, he would have been the man to stop the undefeated Ukrainian. And with that, the heavyweight division was once again asking the same question. What if that punch had been ruled legal? There was only one way to shut that question down forever. A rematch between Usyk and Dubois. For Usyk, it was the chance to erase every last doubt. For Dubois, it was the chance to prove that the controversial moment had not been a fluke, but the beginning of his rule. That is why their second fight became more than just a title bout. It became the final chapter in one of the most debated stories of the modern heavyweight era.
It's a young guy, remember. 38, it's only start.
And that is exactly how Oleksandr Usyk put the final full stop on his rivalry with Daniel Dubois. No arguments, no doubts.
I have to commend him on the performance. I gave everything I had. It just wasn't, probably a few things I could have sharpened up on, but take no credit away from the man. I'll be back.
After that fight, it became completely obvious. Usyk's era at heavyweight was not just a run of victories. It was the legacy of one of the greatest boxing craftsmen of his generation.
I think he's one of the best of all time. I really do. I think he's one of the best heavyweights of all time. And, you know, this is coming from a guy who was the undisputed cruiserweight champion. He's so fucking good. He's so good. I mean, think about what that guy has done. He beat AJ twice. He beat Tyson Fury twice. And now he beat Dubois twice. That's crazy.
No, it's incredible.
Those are two of the best, like, of this era.
I mean, I've watched every one of his fights. That dude is on such a different level.
Oleksandr Usyk is rightfully considered the greatest boxer of his generation. The Ukrainian champion managed to achieve something only a handful of men in boxing history ever have. He became the undisputed world champion in 2 weight classes, first in the Cruiserweight division and then in the heavyweight division. Usyk cleaned out the Cruiserweight division, and then, by moving up into the land of giants, he proved that technique, intelligence, and discipline can be stronger than size and raw power. On his way to the top, he defeated the best fighters of his era, including Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury, and Daniel Dubois. His style is defined by phenomenal footwork, punching accuracy, and elite ring intelligence. Usyk knows how to control the tempo of a fight, adapt to any opponent, and find answers even in the most difficult situations. And that is exactly why his career has become an example of how mastery and character can lead to absolute greatness. Oleksandr Usyk is not just an undisputed champion in 2 divisions. He is the symbol of an era and one of the greatest boxers of modern times.
All to the winner by unanimous decision.